Hey, what up YouTube? This is Izong, thanks for tuning in. So you clicked on this video because you need help with a certain player archetype, whether it be a masher, zoner, turtler, or a rushdown playstyle. Just remember that there's always counterplay and the opponent can always change their strategy to counter your strategy. And that's what makes fighting games so much fun. In this video, I will give you some options that you can use to help you beat the 4 playstyles mentioned, and I hope that will level the playing field for you guys. If you find this helpful, I'd appreciate your sub. Thanks for watching, and let's jump into our first Street Fighter archetype. We'll start off the video by looking at the mashers. Ah yes, the mashers.
Oh, just keep mashing, bro.
Everybody's favorite archetype. To find a solution on how to stop a masher, you have to understand why somebody would be mashing and why it's working in Street Fighter 6. Now, look at Cammy's drive gauge here. By blocking these attacks, she's losing bars quickly. So there's a reason to mash out of it because you don't want to block for too long. Now, reason number 2 is that almost all buttons in Street Fighter 6 are minus on block. So if the opponent presses a button after you press one, it's not just smashing. It's also just challenging, and there's a good chance that you're gonna hit somebody after they press a button because their buttons are minus. It might just be your turn. Unlike games like Street Fighter 5. Third reason is that meaties in Street Fighter 6 are often after drive rush, and there is a human element involved there. So mistiming your meaty, it happens quite frequently. At the end of the day, you're probably playing online. There might be lag, people don't have the best setups, you're playing on PlayStation 5. So mistakes are easily made, so why not challenge, right? You don't want to block them all. So how do you beat people who are pressing a lot of buttons? Well, first of all, every character can frame trap the opponent by pressing 3 lights and chain them into each other. These cannot be interrupted by throws or by buttons. So this is how you make people respect you. If you keep frame trapping them with 3 lights, they have to block that. Also, I think all characters have at least one move that's plus on block, either a button or a special move. So Ryu here is doing his forward heavy punch, his solar plexus, has plus 3 on block. So that makes people not press a button. Same for drive rush, every character can drive rush. If you drive rush, your button becomes 4 frames better on block. So if you have a move that's minus 3 or less, drive rush will turn him into a plus on block button. Now, might not the answer everybody wants to hear, but you need to know the frame data of your knockdowns, or at least you need to know what you can do afterwards to stop people from hitting their fastest button. So you'll just have to know your knockdowns, and this is something you can either look at guides, check out my guides, shameless self-promotion, or you can look at YouTube how your favorite player is doing it, and then you can just lap that. What you can also do is space trap the opponent, because yes, your buttons are minus on block, so people will take their turn, they're in their right to, but if you do it from a certain spacing, you can whiff punish if they are using the wrong button. So some examples here with Ryu, his blade kick is a medium kick, he can even sweep. If you do it from far away, a crouching medium kick will not reach, and you can manually whiff punish that. You can even do it from lights. If you stand at the tip of your light button after your block string, for example, somebody wants to take their turn with a light, you can hit them with either a medium punch or a heavy punch. Something like that. Something just to sprinkle in there to stop people from mashing and make them respect you by blocking. Because if they're blocking, you can start throwing them. Next up, let's have a look at the zoners.
Quite to connect, looking for the head, he doesn't come.
Oh, there's the crush, that means he gets the free uppercut juggle, yep.
He's just playing it cool, doesn't want to pressure, just pure control.
It's just footsies right now, it's just for the footsies. And at the right range to be plus on that.
Beautiful stuff there by 2 of my favorite players, Bonshot and Infectious. Now, a zoner is not like a turtle who runs away. A zoner is actively harassing you with long-reaching pokes and fireballs. Now, to understand the zoner, you have to understand that throwing 2 fireballs in a row is extremely risky because fireballs are not that plus on block. depends on how far away you are and how fast the fireball is. But after a fireball, usually you cannot throw another one unless you're throwing an EX fireball, which recovers faster. So what you see zoners do is they want you to block a light fireball, and after that they might be able to throw a fast one, or they'll throw a long reaching button, because the only thing the zoner is thinking is, I have to anti-air them, because if they jump in on you, the zoner dies. This is the archetype I like to play most. So I can throw a slow fireball and then an EX one, for example. That's how I can set up a fireball trap. Now how do you deal with that? To break the fireball trap, you can just neutral jump over it, because there cannot be 2 fireballs on the screen at once. So if you jump over them, there's no block stun, and you can walk forward. Now what you can also do is, of course, jump in. This is the most risky option, because this is the goal of the zoner. So this is the highest risk and also the highest reward. You can also, if you're close enough, you could drive impact on reaction through the fireball. I'd say this is medium risk and medium reward. And the lowest risk is a perfect parry, also the lowest reward. So if you get a perfect parry, you can immediately drive rush forward. You can always parry and tap forward twice, because if you get a normal parry or you get hit, nothing happens. But if you get the perfect parry, you can drive rush forward and punish them for throwing a fireball. Low risk, but also low reward. So these are your options how to deal with a zoner. Next up is the turtle. And he's nothing like the zoner. The turtle is walking back. How many people in ranked are doing this? Throwing a few buttons, backdash, jump back in the corner, hold back, hold up, hold up. So how do you deal with this, in my opinion, most annoying archetype? You want to corner them, you just don't take too many risks, just walk them down to the corner, because once they're in the corner, they can no longer move backwards. So now you're in the perfect range where you can walk back and forward and use your furthest reaching button. And as you're at the tip of where you can walk in, you press your furthest reaching button and just harass them like that. And that'll force them to do something. So what would the opponent probably do? He's very likely to either jump, because he wants to leave the corner. So you can either uppercut or jump back jab if they jump over you. They're gonna drive rush, for example. So you have to focus on multiple things here, which is not that easy. So I would say focusing on drive rush by pressing your crouching light punch, something like that, is smart. You can either preemptively throw out the light punch because it recovers really fast. And if they happen to jump while you were committing to a light, you still have all the time in the world to anti-air with an uppercut. Now if you're a little bit closer, I'd advise you to either jump back light punch to keep him in the corner, something like that, or cross cut the P, of course. You can also just jump back jab, or if this is too much mental stack for you because you like silver gold, you can also just go for crouching heavy punch, like an anti-air normal. The goal is to keep him in the corner. There we go. Now how about the mid-screen turtles? You know the type, right? They tech everything and they will also block everything. That's because they're delay teching. So they're throw teching, but they're blocking for a few frames first. So if you press a button, they will block, and if you throw, they will tech it. So of course you can shimmy, right? So that means you do a light attack and then you walk back, and as they whiff, you can press a button. But what you can also do is use the auto-timed delayed button. Meaning, you will no longer chain your lights, but you will do a light into a medium, for example. Purposefully leaving a gap there. So, as they are delay teching, the delayed button will hit them. For Ryu, you can use his back heavy kick, for example. So, if you do drive rush medium punch, I'm +3, and then I'm pressing a 10 frame move, leaving a big gap. So that is the spot where people are delay teching. So if they are, the back heavy kick will hit them. You can also use heavy punch, also 10 frames. And now you can confirm the counter hit. And the last one is the Rushdown. I love watching Kimberly play, but I hate playing against her. She got overwhelming speed, so this is not the most popular option probably, but if you play against a rushdown character like Cammy, like Kimberly, like Rashid, you have to know the options. See, everything is reactable, but it's only reactable if you are anticipating what might be happening. You cannot just raw react, you're gonna get overwhelmed real quick. So one thing you could do is at round start, maybe you buffer an OD uppercut. So if they start running at you right away, like you saw in the clip, you can immediately stuff that and show them like, hey, you don't want to do that against me. Cannot do this all the time, and of course it can be baited, but it is an option. Now, something like running at you, just running at you and then jumping at you, or OD run at you and then do the command throw. You have to know your options against this when it happens. So what you can do is do a crouching heavy punch afterwards. Now this is gonna just whiff, but if she does the command grab option, you can go into a super, and if she jumps back, then fine, you can still react by doing an uppercut. You can also DI on reaction, but again, you can only DI on reaction if you are looking for it. So if you know that she might do the OD run, and they always do the OD run from a heavy punch. So if Kimberly presses a heavy punch, you are looking for the OD run, you can DI it and punish her for that. And even if she does the command grab option, you'll still recover really quickly, so you can just sweep her afterwards. The point being here is not so much Kimberly, the point being is that you are looking for something. So if somebody does a heavy punch, a rushdown character does a heavy punch, Ken might do Dragon Lash after the B+, Cammy might do heavy Spin Knuckle, Ryu might do his heavy Hashogeki, Kimberly might do the OD run. People want to keep their turn by doing a gimmick, which is not real, and you have to know how to deal with that. Now let's have a look at Cammy. How often does this happen? Where she throws you and then she does drive rush heavy punch or drive rush block, right? But she cannot drive rush after a throw. She is always minus, you can always punish it. So what you can do after getting thrown by a character is you buffer the OD reversal. Now if you see any green, you do the OD uppercut because they cannot block it. But if they just jump at you, or Cammy does the knuckle, the hooligan, you can just normal anti-air that. So here I just set up the dummy to practice that. So if I see any green, I do OD uppercut, bang. And if she does the hooligan, air hooligan for a command grab or whatever, I will just use normal uppercut. Last example, not so much Akuma, but crouching medium kick into drive rush. People are just spending drive rush to keep pressuring you, right? Something like this. How often do you get hit by this? Like every single round, at least I am. So what you can do is here, if you're looking for that crouching medium kick to go into drive rush, as soon as you see the green after the crouching medium kick, you can press your drive reversal. You can also uppercut, but that requires a motion. But you can just drive reversal by pressing forwards into heavy punch, heavy kick. And again, this only works if you are looking for it. Of course it can be baited, everything can be baited, but you can only react if you know what's coming. That's the main thing for the rushdown character. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a follow and give me a subscribe if you did, and I'll talk to you in the next video, alright? Thanks for watching. Peace.